I'll say this because I know he was given a defibrillator back in 2021. Because this has been an ongoing issue. It's wild to think that he's played 5 years in between that instance and then this most recent one here in 2026. But I think the calls for retirement aren't too far fetched, and I think, frankly, I would be on the same boat after watching what we watched there. The suddenness of it, the randomness of it. You can see him kind of clinch his chest before going down, and the cameras, obviously wisely cut away. Good job on the production crew in that moment. I hate when people zoom in on that stuff, but
well, they zoomed in actually on 2020 or 2021 actually, because that's
really,
yeah. Because I was in my video, I was like, it wasn't 2020 though, because it was 2021 when they played in the Euro finals. But like, obviously, no one knew what was going on. They just saw a dude collapse and was like, or fall down. And was like, oh, is he hurt or something? And they zoom in on the camera, and it's like, oh, dude, his eyes are really damn near rolled back and everything. No,
but the heart is a serious thing to deal with, man. And I mean, it can go that quickly. And I've seen this happen before with athletes with heart issues. It can happen at random, it just out of nowhere. So now the question is, if you're Christian Eriksen, how much is this game worth? Which if you were to ask him specifically, I'm sure he'd probably tell you it's worth life and death, which that's what these athletes are willing to put themselves through. But for the fans, for the supporters, for people like us, obviously we don't want to see that happen, especially at the advanced stage of 34 is getting up there. I realize it's not old in terms of life expectancy old, but in terms of being an athlete, yeah, it's getting up there. But 5 years between the last incident. So what does it mean? I don't know.
I think he definitely has to have a conversation with his family and be like, all right, is this it? Obviously, I don't think I see him, sitting out at least this World Cup. I think he's realized, I'm already here. I might as well make the most of it, see if I could play or at least be there with the team or be there with the boys. I mean, he's already here. He's already on the roster. He knows everyone already. I've always been actually a fan of Eriksen as his free kicks, even though he was a Tottenham player and now a Manchester United player, went to Serie A for a little bit. I've always been a fan of him. He's a good player. He never complained like most of the Tottenham players did, like Dele Alli and Heung-min Son. Heung-min Son is I hate him so much. He cries so much. But I've always been a fan of him. But I definitely think if you're Christian Eriksen, you've got to have a conversation with your wife and your kids, or if I don't know if he's got relatives still around or his parents are still around. I don't know about that fact. But just you got to have a conversation. And I think at this point for Christian Eriksen's career, obviously Denmark's not winning a World Cup. They're not winning the Euros anytime soon. Have that conversation, realize, all right, man, you might have to hang this thing up. You may have to hang up the boots. You may have to, because it's a game, yes, but there's more important things to life than, playing the game of soccer. I'm sure to a player that is still playing, and easier for me to say that from this perspective rather than a player being out there and they could easily say, well, no, it's not. I get that, but Christian, I know he's got a couple of kids. He's got a wife, definitely have that conversation to hey, maybe it's not worth it. And I know this instance is 10 times, or it's not as bad as it was in 2021 compared to what it was in the Euros. So definitely big difference here, because obviously he didn't have to get rushed off the field, or he didn't see God. I remember him saying he saw an angel or something and said it's just not the time yet, or that he wakes back up. It's what the. So obviously, that is something that it's not as bad. So obviously still a scary thing. Fabian and Dave are in there. Dave, 2021 was a horror to watch. He survived that and came back. Time to put up the boots. Fabian, Florentino Perez won the elections. Okay, gotcha. All right. Still not buying all those players, but
elections.
but yeah, no. I would EPL. English Premier League, especially Arsenal, should be in the USL too. We'd probably win the USL too. I'd ask if I could be the commentator for that one. I'd be like, John, can I be the commentator for the Arsenal in the USL too? That's what I would do. But no, back to Eriksen.
They'd still win 1-0 off a corner kick or something.
Damn straight we would. Damn straight we would.
They would still win that way too.
Damn straight we would.
Against Des Moines Menace.
One of my teams actually plays a lot like Arsenal. Set pieces, corners, 1-0. Just look at the results. They do that. So I'm like, oh, man, it's like watching Arsenal games all over again. But yeah, no. Eriksen, I definitely think you should have that conversation with your family. Just be
Yeah,
like, hey man, we need you later on in life and
right.
after soccer or football, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, no,
Yeah,
I would say scary. Glad he's all right, but definitely
yeah.
think about retirement for sure.
And to people who are dedicated to their craft, you probably are willing to die for it, and rightfully so. But there are other people around that need you around, and so that's the hard thing, man. Is like
Maybe
it now would be a tough time to step away for obvious reasons.
maybe Eriksen, maybe you want to try out USL too. I'm just saying they only
Hey,
play, I think, like 2.5 months. So they play from middle
uh,
of May to if you get to the finals August 1st. So I'm just saying maybe you want to take a crack at the USL too. Just saying.
let's take a break here on Inside the Game. We come back. Let's talk a little bit about USA Germany, but maybe not necessarily what went on the field, but everywhere else in and around that environment for the final send-off game here before we get started on June the 11th. Is there a culture in the United States? We're going to make some comparisons between where we were 40 years ago to where we are now.